I will spend next 7 days learning Blender. I have a goal to make a 3D character for a game that I made few months ago. I wonder if I can actually do this. I started my journey by looking for someone who can show me the ways of Blender, and I came across a Blender master called Daniel. I started watching his lessons with the ambition of creating something special, but it was harder than I thought. I started by drawing a sketch on a piece of paper and spent day one mostly learning the interface and controls. Hopefully, I will finish the grey low poly version tomorrow. On the second day, I started getting some momentum. Even though it was really challenging, I managed to make arms and legs and become the master of controlling vertices. In the end, I had some great thing that when you close your eyes looks like humanoid fox. I made the coolest, fastest, the most fashionable glasses on the planet, because I forgot to do that yesterday. Then I tried to smooth out these boxy edges, because foxes and humans are not boxy in real life. That was the biggest challenge so far, and even though I think I didn't do it correctly, it looks fine. But it looks a little grey for my taste, so the next challenge is to color it. Color in Blender is applied with something called UV maps and textures and materials. And that was kind of complicated for me, so I just blindly followed a tutorial on YouTube. Something wasn't quite working because my character have these black dots that can't be colored. I wanted to fix that, but I was burnt out, so I spent the rest of the day working on Cody's Nightmare. Oh, you're asking what's that? Let me tell you. Cody's Nightmare is a pixel art platformer game about a little boy named Cody who is trapped in his nightmare. If that sounds interesting to you, you're more than welcome to follow our Kickstarter page and follow us on Twitter. All links are below. As you can probably tell, something is wrong with textures, so I spent day 4 trying to fix that. I realized that textures can be exported and then painted in Photoshop. Never mind, that doesn't seem like beginner stuff, so I approached that problem from a different angle. Instead of trying to be all detailed and quirky, why don't I try to make it simple? Some smart guy once said, less is more, so I just gave the character a basic orange color. I also did that for glasses and they now look black and cool. This looks good enough for now because in these 7 days I'm learning the basics. If I have some time left, I will play with textures and other stupidities. Ever since I started my Blender journey, I wanted my character to have that anime-like effect. So I started searching the internet for answers. I came across a perfect video and my mission was successful. Now I see how good will this look in the game. I'll try to model his gun completely by myself. I will not use tutorials of any kind and I will put all of my 3.5 day experience to the test. I made a sketch, transformed a box into a smaller box, stretched it, cut it, added some details and finished it off with some color. I think I did pretty good job. Let me know what you think in the comments. Today is a rig day, and what exactly is a rig? A rig is basically a skeleton that controls and deforms the mesh. I made a few bones and the basic skeleton was done. That's where an amateur would stop, but I am an experienced Blender professional, so I tried to add something called inverse kinematics. I learned about that stuff when I was making one of my previous games. IK is basically an imitation of human limbs, and I want to add that to make the animation process easier. To my big surprise, I pulled it off the first try. Then I attached the mesh to the bones and our character can move its arms and legs. There is only one more thing for me to learn in order to become official Blender master, and that's animation. There is probably a lot of animations that will be needed for the game, but I'll try to make these 3: run, jump and some kind of dance. I started researching how to do this and discovered a website called Mixamo. I watched a few tutorials and realized that all rigging from yesterday was for nothing, since Mixamo does it for you. You just upload your mesh and mark some basic parts like elbows and knees, and then you can use any animation that they have. I downloaded a few animations, fixed some material issues, and voila! I created a character that's completely ready to be used in a game. I'm really excited to put this bad boy in a game, but that's for another video. If you like this one, please leave a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.